Hello there and welcome to another Coffee with Colin, and thanks very much for tuning in. The objective behind the series is whereby I take a snippet from the book Feeding Johnny and over a cup of coffee for about 5 minutes or so discuss the snippet and the lesson contained within it in the hopes that by me sharing it out there for you on the World Wide Web that it'll afford you a shortcut where back in the day I myself had none. And today I want to talk about the importance of customer care. So here's the challenge. Customer service, either good or bad, is attributed to your organisation or to my organisation, but it's delivered by an individual, typically delivered by an individual. And you've probably heard it said, and I assume you believe it to be true, that we tend to tell more people about poor customer service experiences than we do about great customer service experiences. So I'm not going to buck the trend. I'm going to tell you about a lousy customer service experience I had recently. Went for breakfast with Aideen and we went to a hotel. And it was one of those situations where you get greeted at the door, you get brought to your table, served tea or coffee, and then suggested that you go to the buffet and collect your breakfast. So off we went to the buffet. And I decided I was having a hot breakfast. Bacon, egg and sausage, black and white pudding, and wanted scrambled egg and a fried egg, why not? So picked up all the bits, but there were no fried eggs there, and there was a chef standing behind the counter. So I said, may I have a fried egg please? He looked at me, said nothing, and left. Walked off the counter, and he walked through some swing doors, I assume into the kitchen. Next thing, the swing doors open again, and it's a female chef this time, and she said to me, are you okay? And I said, well, I'm not sure, I've ordered a fried egg. She said, oh right, he'll be back in a minute. So I said, fine. She disappeared and he came back in a minute. Now this is a minute while the rest of my breakfast is going cold, so my breakfast is cooling down. Truthfully, I'm heating up a bit. He still said nothing to me. He came back with a squeegee bottle of oil and started squeezing the oil into a pan. The oil was cold, I presume the pan was heating. But very quickly, and certainly before the oil was hot, he cracked 3 eggs into the tepid oil. They began to form and they began to whiten. I know you know the score, you can see this in your mind's eye. He still said nothing to me. Next thing, there's a lady on my shoulder, and he sort of looked at her and did this, which I assume meant, may I help you, madam? And she said, could I have poached egg, please? He said nothing. He broke 6 eggs into a pan of boiling water. At least the water was hot this time. The poached eggs were done quicker than the fried eggs, and so he served her poached egg and she left. He then went back to the 3 eggs and he started ladling oil over the tops of them to try and make them cook a little bit quicker. And then before the eggs were fully cooked, he took one out on his ladle, dripping in oil, and he went as to put it on my plate. And I said, could you drain it a little bit, please? And he did that, and he drained it a little bit, and went to offer it to me again. So I scooped up a side plate and offered him the side plate, and he slid this slimy thing onto a side plate. Not good. At this stage, we're 5 or 6 minutes into this ordeal. And I go to the table and sit down with Aideen, and of course I'm fuming, and I tell her the story. So I've told her, I'm now telling you. Anyway, a couple of things began to form in my mind. A couple of takeaways that I think we can all get from this. Number one, there are front of house people and back of house people in your organisation and in my organisation. And back of house people typically are back of house people because they want to be, and they shouldn't be interacting with the customer, the paying customer, in my opinion. They need to be of a particular type to do so. And you and I need front of house people dealing with the paying customer. Second thing that struck me was, I expect if the general manager had walked in, the silent chef would have upped his game. I expect he would have stood to attention and been all happy clappy and would have looked after me significantly better. However, he would have done that because he would have seen the boss come through the door. However, I was the boss that day. The lady who wanted her poached egg, she was the boss that day, because we are the paying customers. Without the real bosses, the customers, the supposed bosses, the general managers, the managing directors, can't write the checks to pay the staff who do the job. So at the end of the day, the paying customer is the boss, always has been and always will be. The third thing that struck me was the difference between the silent chef and the naked chef, Jamie Oliver. Jamie Oliver would have handled that situation incredibly differently, and you know what I mean here. Incredibly differently. And it struck me that there were 2 reasons why he would have done that. Number one, Jamie Oliver is interested. He is interested. That guy was no more interested. Jamie Oliver is interested in the real boss's well-being, in the customer's experience and the customer's well-being. And the second thing is Jamie Oliver is interesting. Jamie Oliver is an interesting character. He sets himself, because he's interesting, head and shoulders above the competition. And it struck me that that's what you and I both need to do as individuals and in our organisations. We need to be interested and we need to be interesting. And the whole experience reminded me how many moving parts there are in our organisation and likely in yours to make sure that the paying customer, the real boss, gets looked after. In Carambola, we produce little lunch bags for what we call Johnny. You know, Johnny Maloney represents every customer that we have, and we every day feed Johnny. In fact, every day we feed 25,000 Johnnies. But little Johnny, his lunch is unique to him. And how do we get little Johnny's lunch to him in Carambola? Well, the van driver delivers it. So on the day, on any given day, the van driver is the guy delivering it to Johnny. So Johnny is a customer of the van driver. However, the van driver, where did he get Johnny's lunch in the first place? He got it from the van loaders. So the van driver is a customer of the van loaders. Where did the van loaders get the lunch? They got it from the lunch bag packers. So the van loaders are customers of the lunch bag packers. Where did the lunch bag packers get Johnny's sandwich? They got it from the kitchen crew. So the lunch bag packers are customers of the kitchen crew. Where did the kitchen crew get the ingredients to put into Johnny's sandwich in the first place? Well, from purchasing. So the kitchen crew are customers of the purchasing department. And where did the purchasing department get the list of ingredients to buy for Johnny's lunch? Well, from the IT system. So what happens is Johnny goes on, he places his order. Johnny's the customer, he's the paying customer, he's the boss. He places his order and tells us what he wants. The IT system captures that and tells the purchasing department what to order from our suppliers. The ingredients arrive, the kitchen produces the sandwich for little Johnny and then sends it to the lunch packers. The lunch packers pack it for little Johnny and send it to the van loaders. The van loaders load it onto a van for little Johnny and the driver then takes it and delivers it to little Johnny. And when the van gets there in the morning, he's got to open the back door and Johnny's lunch has got to be in the correct tray, in the correct position in the van for us to do our job properly, for us to feed Johnny. So what does it take for you to feed Johnny in your organisation? What does feeding Johnny mean in your organisation? What are you doing to set yourself head and shoulders above the competition in your business so they'll talk about you and you'll do more business? What are you doing to become the Jamie Oliver of your business? What are you doing to become the Carambola, dare I say it, of your business? What I'd like you to do, please, is consider what's been shared here today. I hope and I trust you got something of note from it. If you've enjoyed it and you think somebody else would benefit, I'd be delighted if you'd pass the link on to somebody else. If you would like to leave me a comment, go to the bottom of the blog and do so. If it's your first time stumbling across a Coffee with Colm and you'd like more, go to the homepage, colmobryanmotivation.com, leave me your details and we get you some information like this sent to you on a weekly basis. And then please come back next week and let's share another coffee together and I'll share another snippet from the book and see where it leads both of us. Meantime, get some rest, get some good coffee, get organised for the week ahead. Cheers. Delicious. Love my coffee. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.